CM Punk just ended Roman Reigns' 4-year reign of terror. CM Punk defeated Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw last night in what should be celebrated as the moment wrestling finally moved forward from Roman's endless dominance, except WWE ruined it by booking the finish so controversially and chaotically that instead of crowning a new champion who feels legitimate, they created a title change that half the audience thinks was a screwjob that will be reversed within weeks. Roman lost the championship he's held for what feels like an eternity, but the finish was so messy with interference, ref bumps, and disputed calls that Punk's victory feels tainted before his reign even begins. This wasn't the clean, definitive passing of the torch moment that would establish Punk as the undisputed champion and finally end Roman's stranglehold on WWE's main event scene. This was WWE doing what they always do, protecting Roman even in defeat by making his loss look fluky and questionable rather than definitive, ensuring that Roman can immediately demand a rematch and claim he never truly lost because the finish was controversial. They couldn't even let Roman lose without planting seeds that maybe he didn't really lose. But here's what makes this absolutely infuriating: this match was WWE's chance to create a historic moment the night CM Punk finally became world champion in his return run and the night Roman Reigns' unprecedented reign of dominance finally ended. Instead, they delivered a finish so convoluted that the story isn't Punk won the title, it's did Punk really win or was it a screwjob? That's not creating a moment, that's undermining your own storytelling, because WWE is so addicted to protecting Roman that they can't book him to lose clean even when it's time for him to drop the title. Smash that like button and subscribe to Wrestling News CC, because I'm about to break down exactly what happened in this controversial finish, why WWE's refusal to let Roman lose clean destroys the credibility of title changes, and why CM Punk's championship victory is already being questioned instead of celebrated because WWE can't commit to actually moving on from Roman's era. Let me walk you through this masterpiece turned disaster, because the match itself was incredible before WWE ruined it with the finish. Raw opens with the championship match, unusual placement as the first segment rather than main event, which should have been our first warning that something weird was coming. Roman and Punk deliver an absolute classic for 35 minutes. Technical wrestling, psychology, near falls that have the crowd on their feet. Both men showcasing why they're considered two of the best workers of their generation. This is the kind of match that should main event WrestleMania, and they're giving it away on Raw. Around the 30-minute mark, the Bloodline tries to interfere. Solo Sikoa, despite being banished, he's apparently back already, and other members attempt to help Roman. But GUSO, Roman's cousin who's been feuding with the Bloodline, runs down and neutralizes them, evening the odds and ensuring this will be a fair fight. The crowd is going insane because this is actually building to Roman versus Punk with no interference and no excuses. This is the moment where we find out who's truly better in a straight-up fight. Roman hits a spear. Punk kicks out at 2.5. The crowd erupts because they thought it was over. Roman can't believe Punk kicked out of his finish. He's visibly frustrated that his usual trump card didn't work. Punk fires back with the GTS. 1, 2, Roman's shoulder comes up at the last possible moment. Now Punk is frustrated because his finish wasn't enough either. We're in that magical part of the match where both men's finishers have been kicked out of and they need to dig deeper. They trade strikes in the center of the ring, both exhausted, both refusing to stay down. The crowd is chanting for both men because this is the kind of match where even if you have a favorite, you're just appreciating greatness. Then around the 33-minute mark the chaos begins. Roman goes for another spear, but Punk leapfrogs and Roman accidentally spears the referee, who was poorly positioned. The ref goes down hard and is clearly out. That should be our second warning sign. Ref bumps almost always lead to screwy finishes. But we're so invested in the match that we hope WWE won't ruin this moment. With no referee, Punk hits another GTS on Roman. Roman is out cold. But there's no ref to count. Punk is frustrated, knowing he has the match won but can't get the official decision. A replacement referee starts running down the ramp. But before they can slide in the ring, Seth Rollins, who's been feuding with both men in separate storylines, appears from the crowd and attacks the replacement referee before they can enter. Seth slides into the ring. The crowd is confused because Seth has beef with both guys. Who is he here to help? Seth looks at Roman, looks at Punk, and stomps Roman. The crowd explodes because Seth just helped Punk even though they're not allies. Seth drags the original referee, who's starting to recover, into position, puts Punk's arm over Roman's chest, and exits the ring. The referee, still groggy, starts counting 1, 2, 3. Bell rings. New champion. CM Punk has won the World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd is going crazy, but also confused because that finish was chaos and involved multiple people beyond just Punk and Roman. Here's why this finish destroys what should be Punk's greatest moment. Instead of Punk earning the championship through a clean victory that proves he's better than Roman, Punk won because 1. The referee was accidentally taken out. 2. Seth Rollins interfered on Punk's behalf, without Punk asking for help. 3. The groggy referee made a count that might not have been fair because he wasn't fully conscious. That's not a victory, that's a mess. And instead of Punk celebrating a clean triumph over WWE's final boss, he's immediately facing questions about whether he really beat Roman or just got lucky that circumstances fell his way. WWE just did to CM Punk what they do to everyone who beats Roman. They made the victory look questionable so Roman can claim he never truly lost and immediately demand a rematch where he'll prove he's actually better. The locker room reaction is reportedly split. Some wrestlers are thrilled that Roman's reign finally ended and think the controversial finish actually helps because it creates immediate storylines with Seth, Roman's rematch claim, and questions about Punk's legitimacy. Others are frustrated that WWE couldn't just let Punk win clean and establish himself as the undisputed champion. They see this as WWE's continued inability to let Roman lose definitively, even when it's clearly time for him to drop the title. CM Punk himself is said to be conflicted. He's obviously happy to be champion, but he wanted a clean victory that would silence doubters. Instead, his championship win is already being questioned, which means his first few title defenses will be about proving he deserves to be champion rather than actually being established as champion. Roman Reigns is reportedly already pushing for an immediate rematch, claiming the finish was a screwjob and that he deserves another chance to win his title back cleanly. That's exactly what this controversial finish set up: an endless loop of Roman challenging for his title instead of moving on to other storylines. Seth Rollins' motivation is unclear, which is either intentional mystery or poor planning. Did Seth help Punk because he hates Roman more? Does Seth have a plan to challenge Punk for the title now that Punk's champion? Is this setting up a triple threat at WrestleMania? WWE hasn't explained, which creates confusion rather than intrigue. Here's what should happen to salvage this situation. WWE should have Punk cut a promo acknowledging the controversial finish but making it clear he would have won anyway because he had Roman beaten before the chaos. That gives Punk agency rather than making him look like a lucky recipient of circumstances. Roman should get his rematch but make it a stipulation match where there can be no controversy, no bloodline interference, no ref bumps, no outside involvement. Just Roman versus Punk in a cage or some other structure that ensures a clean finish. Then have Punk win definitively to prove his first victory wasn't a fluke. Seth should explain his actions and establish whether he's now aligned with Punk, using Punk, or has his own agenda that involves both men. Clear storytelling that creates investment rather than confusion. My prediction? WWE books an immediate rematch at the next premium live event. The finish is equally controversial. Maybe Punk wins by DQ, or there's another screwy finish that protects both men. This drags on for months with neither man getting a definitive clean victory, and eventually they're both in a triple threat with Seth or someone else at WrestleMania where the title changes hands again without either Roman or Punk looking definitively better than the other. That's WWE's pattern: avoid clear conclusions to protect everyone, which ultimately protects nobody because audiences lose investment when they realize outcomes don't actually matter. The fan reaction has been wildly divided. Punk's fans are celebrating that he's finally champion. Roman's fans are claiming it was a screwjob and demanding immediate rematch. Wrestling purists are frustrated that WWE couldn't deliver a clean finish for such an important title change. Social media is exploding with debates. Did Punk really win? Does he deserve to be champion? Should there be an immediate rematch? Was Seth helping Punk or setting him up? The discourse has completely overshadowed what should be celebration of a new champion. Drop your thoughts. Did CM Punk earn the championship or get lucky? Should Roman get an immediate rematch? And why can't WWE book Roman to lose clean even when it's time for him to drop the title? Comments below. This is Wrestling News CC, demanding clean finishes for important title changes instead of controversial chaos. Subscribe for continued coverage of Punk's title reign and whether it ever feels legitimate. CM Punk is World Heavyweight Champion. Roman's reign is over. But instead of a definitive passing of the torch, we got a controversial finish that makes Punk's victory feel questionable before his reign even begins. WWE's refusal to let Roman lose clean even when it's time for him to lose just tainted what should be CM Punk's greatest moment. And now instead of moving forward, we're stuck in rematch hell where Roman tries to prove he's still better. This could have been historic. Instead, it's just another controversial finish in a company that can't commit to actually ending Roman's era. Congratulations, CM Punk. You're champion. Now spend the next 3 months proving you deserve to win instead of just being champion. Hashtag CM Punk, hashtag Roman Reigns, hashtag WWE, hashtag Raw, hashtag World Heavyweight Championship, hashtag controversial finish, hashtag screwy ending.